First contact and misconceptions. The vast expanse of space had never seemed so small as it did on the day humanity joined the Galactic Federation. The year was 2157, and Earth had finally achieved the technological prowess necessary for interstellar travel. As the sleek human ships approached the massive space station that served as the Federation's headquarters, excitement and anticipation filled the hearts of both humans and aliens alike. Ambassador Zixlor, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin and 4 arms, watched the approaching fleet with a mixture of curiosity and trepidation. As the Federation's chief diplomat, it was his job to welcome new species and assess their potential impact on galactic society. Humans, he mused, were an enigma. Their transmissions, intercepted over the past century, painted a picture of a species both capable of great violence and profound peace. As the human delegation disembarked from their ships, Zixlor was struck by their appearance. They were shorter than he had imagined, with only 2 arms and legs, and a variety of skin tones and facial features. Their leader, a woman named Dr. Amelia Chen, stepped forward with a warm smile. "Greetings, Ambassador Zixlor," she said, her voice translated perfectly by the Federation's universal translator. "On behalf of humanity, we are honored to join the Galactic Federation." Zixlor bowed slightly, his 4 hands clasped in front of him. "Welcome, Dr. Chen. The Federation is pleased to accept humanity into our ranks. We look forward to learning more about your species and sharing the wonders of the galaxy with you." Over the next few months, as humans integrated into the Federation, Zixlor and other alien species began to form opinions about their new galactic neighbors. Humans seemed remarkably adept at diplomacy, always seeking peaceful resolutions to conflicts and showing a willingness to compromise. They shared their art, music, and literature freely, and their scientists collaborated eagerly with alien researchers on various projects. What puzzled Zixlor and his colleagues, however, was the apparent lack of military prowess displayed by humans. In simulations and war games, human tactics seemed rudimentary at best. They consistently scored low on the Federation's aggression index, a metric used to assess a species' potential for violence and conquest. During a high-level meeting of Federation officials, Zixlor voiced his observations. Humans seem to be a peaceful species, almost to a fault. They have no significant space fleet, and their weapons technology is centuries behind most Federation members. While their diplomatic skills are impressive, I worry about their ability to defend themselves should the need arise. Grand Admiral Krell, a battle-hardened veteran from the warrior race of Torgans, snorted derisively. "Peaceful, more like weak. I've reviewed their history. They haven't engaged in a planet-wide war in over a century. Their military forces are purely defensive. In my opinion, they're little more than children playing at being a spacefaring race." Zixlor frowned, his skin shimmering with concern. "Perhaps, but we shouldn't underestimate them. There must be a reason they've survived and thrived on their homeworld." As the meeting continued, the officials debated the role humans should play in the Federation. Some argued for limiting their involvement in crucial decisions, while others saw potential in their diplomatic abilities. In the end, it was decided that humans would be given a probationary status, allowed to participate in Federation affairs, but kept at arm's length from sensitive military and strategic matters. Unbeknownst to the Federation, this decision would soon be put to the test in ways none of them could have imagined. Months passed, and humanity continued to integrate into galactic society. Human colonies were established on distant worlds, and cultural exchanges flourished. Dr. Chen and her team worked tirelessly to build relationships with various alien species, always emphasizing cooperation and mutual understanding. One day, as Zixlor was reviewing reports in his office, he received an urgent message from a human diplomat named Marcus Rivera. The holographic display flickered to life, showing Marcus's concerned face. "Ambassador Zixlor, we've received disturbing news from one of our outer colonies," Marcus said, his voice tight with worry. "They've detected an unknown fleet approaching their system. We're not sure of their intentions, but the colony is requesting Federation assistance. Zixlor's skin rippled with surprise. This was the first real test of humanity's place in the Federation. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Marcus. I'll convene an emergency meeting of the Security Council immediately. Please assure your colonists that we'll do everything in our power to help. As Zixlor hurried to gather the council members, he couldn't help but wonder how humans would react to this potential threat. Would they reveal hidden strengths, or would their peaceful nature leave them vulnerable? The next few days would prove crucial in shaping the galaxy's perception of humanity and their role in the cosmic order. Little did Zixlor know that this incident would be the first tremor in a series of events that would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Federation and reveal the true nature of humanity's power. The looming threat. The emergency meeting of the Federation Security Council was tense, filled with representatives from various species, all anxiously discussing the unknown fleet approaching the human colony. Zixlor presided over the gathering, his forearms gesticulating as he tried to maintain order. "We've identified the approaching ships," announced Admiral Krell, his gravelly voice cutting through the chatter. "They belong to the Voraks, a species we've had limited contact with on the fringes of known space." A collective murmur of concern rippled through the chamber. The Voraks were known for their aggressive expansion and disregard for diplomatic niceties. They were a warrior race, driven by a fierce desire for conquest and resources. Dr. Amelia Chen, representing humanity, leaned forward. "What do we know about their capabilities? And what are our options for protecting the colony?" Admiral Krell's expression was grim. The Voraks possess technology slightly more advanced than the Federation average. Their ships are heavily armed, and they favor overwhelming force in their attacks. As for options, he paused, looking uncomfortable. "Given the colony's location and our current fleet deployments, we cannot reach them before the Voraks arrive." The room erupted in worried conversations. Zixlor raised all four of his hands, calling for silence. "We must consider all possibilities. Dr. Chen, what do the humans propose?" Amelia stood, her face a mask of determination. "We request permission to send our own ships to defend the colony. We may not have the most advanced fleet, but we cannot stand by while our people are threatened." Admiral Krell scoffed. "With all due respect, Dr. Chen, your ships would be no match for the Voraks. It would be suicide." "Perhaps," Amelia countered, "but we must try. We also request that the Federation send any available ships to support us. Every moment we delay puts more lives at risk." After much debate, the Council agreed to allow the human fleet to attempt a defense of the colony, with a small contingent of Federation ships providing support. As the meeting adjourned, Zixlor approached Amelia. "Dr. Chen, I admire your species' courage, but I fear this may be a costly lesson for humanity. Are you certain you want to proceed?" Amelia's eyes gleamed with a resolve that took Zixlor aback. "Ambassador, throughout our history, humans have faced seemingly insurmountable odds. We may surprise you yet." As the human fleet prepared for departure, news of the impending conflict spread throughout the Federation. Many alien species watched with a mixture of curiosity and pity, believing they were about to witness the brutal awakening of a naive race to the harsh realities of the galaxy. The journey to the threatened colony was tense. Captain Sarah Martinez of the HSS Defiant, the flagship of the human fleet, stood on the bridge, her crew working diligently around her. A holographic display showed the approaching Voraks fleet, a mass of sharp, predatory-looking ships that outnumbered the human forces 3-1. "Status report," Sarah commanded, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Her first officer, Lieutenant Commander Akira Tanaka, responded promptly. "All ships report ready, Captain. We'll reach the colony in approximately 2 hours. The Voraks fleet will arrive shortly after." Sarah nodded, her mind racing through strategies and contingencies. Open a channel to the fleet. As the faces of the other ship captains appeared on screen, Sarah took a deep breath. "This is Captain Martinez. In a few hours, We'll be facing an enemy that many believe we cannot defeat. They underestimate us, just as the rest of the galaxy does. But we know our strength. We know what we're fighting for. Today, we fight not just for our colony, but for our place among the stars. Stand firm, watch each other's backs, and remember, we are humanity. We do not go quietly. Martine's out. As the human fleet took up defensive positions around the colony, the Federation support ships arrived. Their commanders were surprised by the disciplined formation of the human vessels and the calm efficiency with which they operated. Commander Vex of the Arcadian support cruiser opened a channel to the Defiant. "Captain Martinez, we're in position. I must say, your fleet's coordination is impressive for a species with limited space combat experience." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Thank you, Commander. We may be new to galactic conflicts, but we've had our share of challenges. We're glad to have you with us." The waiting game began. Minutes ticked by like hours as the defenders watched their long-range sensors. Finally, the alarm sounded. The Vorax fleet had arrived. The space around the colony lit up with weapons fire as the Vorax launched their assault. Their ships, angular and bristling with weaponry, bore down on the defenders with frightening speed. To the astonishment of the Federation observers, the human fleet didn't falter. They held their formation, absorbing the initial barrage with surprising resilience. Then they responded. Human ships darted between the larger Vorax vessels, their smaller size allowing for maneuvers that caught the attackers off guard. Federation commanders watched in awe as human pilots pulled off tactics they had dismissed as theoretically impossible or too risky. Captain Martinez's voice crackled over the comms. "Concentrate fire on their lead ships. Squadrons B and C. Initiate Maneuver Theta." The battle raged on, with neither side gaining a clear advantage. The human ships, while less advanced, displayed a level of coordination and adaptability that kept the Vorax from overwhelming them. The Federation support ships, following the humans' lead, found themselves fighting with renewed vigor. As the conflict stretched into its third hour, the tide began to turn. The Vorax, accustomed to quick victories, found themselves frustrated by the humans' tenacity. Their formation began to break down, creating opportunities that the defenders were quick to exploit. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the battlefield. The Vorax flagship, hit by a concentrated barrage from 3 human cruisers, erupted in a ball of fire. The remaining Vorax ships, their command structure in chaos, began to retreat. As the last enemy ship disappeared into hyperspace, a stunned silence fell over the battlefield. Then, cheers erupted across the human and Federation channels. They had done it. Against all odds, they had repelled the Vorax attack. Commander Vex's voice came through, filled with a mixture of awe and confusion. "Captain Martinez, I don't understand. How did you do it? Your ships, your tactics, they were unlike anything we've seen before." Sarah's reply was tinged with pride and a hint of something deeper. "Commander, what you've seen today is just a fraction of what humanity is capable of. We avoid war not because we're weak, but because we know all too well the cost of conflict. But when pushed, when those we care about are threatened, we will fight with everything we have." As news of the victory spread throughout the Federation, perceptions of humanity began to shift. Questions arose about what other secrets this young species might be hiding, and why they had kept their true capabilities hidden for so long. In his office on the Federation space station, Ambassador Zixlor reviewed the battle reports with growing amazement. He realized that the galaxy's understanding of humanity was about to change dramatically, and he couldn't help but wonder what other surprises these enigmatic beings had in store for the cosmos. The battle begins. The news of humanity's victory over the Vorax spread through the Galactic Federation like wildfire. What was supposed to have been a quick and brutal lesson in the harsh realities of space warfare had instead become a story of triumph against overwhelming odds. In the days following the battle, Federation analysts pored over every scrap of data, trying to understand how a supposedly technologically inferior and peace-loving species had managed to defeat one of the most aggressive forces in the galaxy. Ambassador Zixlor found himself at the center of a political storm. Federation members demanded answers, some with excitement, others with trepidation. In an emergency session of the Galactic Council, Zixlor stood before representatives of hundreds of species, his iridescent skin shimmering with nervous energy. "Esteemed colleagues," he began, his voice amplified throughout the vast chamber. "The recent events have raised many questions about our newest members, the humans. I assure you, we are working tirelessly to understand the full implications of their capabilities." A Vulcan representative, a being of living crystal, chimed in. "Are we to believe that humans have been deceiving us about their true nature? This could be seen as an act of bad faith." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. Zixlor raised his four hands, calling for calm. "We must not jump to conclusions. I have invited Dr. Amelia Chen to address the council and provide some clarity on the situation." As if on cue, Amelia entered the chamber, her posture confident but her eyes betraying a hint of wariness. She took her place at the speaker's podium, surveying the sea of alien faces before her. "Honorable members of the Galactic Federation," she began, her voice steady, "I understand your concerns and your desire for explanations. Humanity has never intended to deceive you. Our actions in the recent conflict were born out of necessity, not duplicity." She paused, allowing her words to sink in. "Throughout our history, humans have been shaped by conflict. We've seen the devastation war can bring, and we've worked hard to move beyond it. When we joined the Federation, we saw an opportunity to be part of something greater, to contribute to a peaceful galactic community. But," she continued, her tone growing more serious, "we also knew that peace must sometimes be defended. We kept our military capabilities quiet not out of distrust, but out of a deep-seated hope that we would never need to use them." The chamber was silent, all eyes fixed on Amelia. She took a deep breath before delivering her final point. "What you saw in the battle against the Voracks was not the full extent of our capabilities. It was a measured response to a dire threat. We are prepared to share more about our technologies and strategies with the Federation, but we ask for your understanding and trust as we navigate this new reality together." As Amelia stepped down, the council erupted in discussion. Some members called for immediate sharing of human military technology, while others demanded further investigation into humanity's true intentions. Zixlor, watching from the sidelines, realized that the galaxy would never be the same. While the political drama unfolded, the Voracks were far from defeated. Their initial loss had only served to. While the political drama unfolded, the Voracks were far from defeated. Their initial loss had only served to fuel their rage and determination. In the depths of space, beyond the reach of Federation sensors, the Voracks regrouped and planned their revenge. Thrax, the supreme commander of the Voracks forces, stood before a holographic display of the galaxy, his four eyes narrowed in concentration. His scaled skin, usually a deep purple, had taken on a reddish hue, a sign of his fury. "These humans," he growled to his assembled war council, "have made us look weak. We cannot allow this insult to stand." One of his subordinates, a younger Vorax named Zark, spoke up. "Supreme Commander, perhaps we underestimated them. Should we not seek to understand their capabilities before launching another attack?" Thrax whirled on Zark, his tail lashing angrily. "Understand them. We will crush them. Prepare the Armada. We will strike not at a single colony, but at the heart of human space itself. Let's see how they fare when their homeworld burns." As the Voracks prepared for their massive assault, the Federation remained unaware of the looming threat. On Earth, life continued as usual, with most humans blissfully ignorant of the battle that had taken place to defend their distant colony. In New Geneva, the headquarters of the United Earth Government, an emergency meeting was underway. Military leaders, politicians, and scientists gathered to discuss the implications of their recent revelation to the galactic community. Admiral Elena Rodriguez, the head of Earth's Space Force, addressed the assembly. "Ladies and gentlemen, our hand has been forced. While we hope to keep our true capabilities hidden for as long as possible, recent events have made that impossible. We must now decide how much to reveal to our allies in the Federation." President Ebiwe Okafor, a tall man with a commanding presence, leaned forward. "Admiral, what's your assessment of the potential threats we face? Can we trust the Federation to stand with us if push comes to shove?" Admiral Rodriguez's expression was grim. "Mr. President, our intelligence suggests that the Vorax are not the type to take defeat lightly. We should expect retaliation. As for the Federation, their reaction to our display of force has been mixed. Some see us as potential saviors, others as a threat. We can't count on their full support, at least not yet." Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the lead scientist of Earth's Advanced Weapons Program, spoke up. "We should consider revealing some of our more advanced defensive technologies. It might help ease the Federation's concerns about our intentions." As the debate continued, alarms suddenly blared throughout the complex. A junior officer burst into the room, his face pale. "Mr. President, Admiral, we've detected a massive fleet entering the solar system. It's the Vorax, and they're heading straight for Earth." The room erupted in controlled chaos as leaders rushed to their stations. President Okafor's voice cut through the noise. "Initiate Protocol Omega. Admiral Rodriguez, you have full authority to deploy all assets. May God help us all." In orbit around Earth, the first line of defense sprang to life. Stealth satellites, invisible to all but the most advanced sensors, powered up their weapon systems. Huge orbital platforms, disguised as civilian space stations, began to transform, revealing array after array of energy weapons and missile launchers. On the surface, hidden silos opened in deserts, mountains, and beneath the oceans. Advanced fighter craft, far beyond anything the Federation had seen, took to the skies. And from the dark side of the moon, a fleet of sleek, deadly warships emerged from hidden bases. As the Vorax Armada approached, they were met not by the primitive defenses they expected, but by a force that could rival any in the galaxy. The space around Earth lit up with weapons fire as the two fleets clashed. Aboard the HSS Lionheart, the flagship of Earth's defense fleet, Captain Jack Harper watched the battle unfold with steely determination. "All ships, execute Battle Plan Delta. Squadrons A through C, engage the enemy's flanks. Let's show these Vorax what humanity is truly capable of." The human ships moved with a grace and coordination that belied their deadly purpose. Advanced energy shields shrugged off Vorax attacks, while human weapons tore through enemy defenses with terrifying efficiency. In the Federation Council chambers, representatives watched the battle through long-range sensors, their expressions a mixture of awe and fear. Zixlor stood with Dr. Amelia Chen, both of them tense as they observed humanity's true military might on display. "By the cosmic winds," Zixlor whispered, "I never imagined. How long have your people possessed such technology?" Amelia's eyes never left the tactical display. "Longer than you might think, Ambassador. We've had centuries to prepare for this day, always hoping it would never come." As the battle raged on, it became clear that the Vorax had grossly underestimated their opponent. Human ships danced through their formation, striking with surgical precision. Advanced AI systems coordinated the defense with inhuman efficiency, predicting Vorax moves before they could execute them. Thrax, the Vorax Supreme Commander, watched in disbelief as his mighty armada was slowly but surely dismantled. "Impossible," he growled, slamming his fist on his command console. "All ships, focus fire on their homeworld. If we can't defeat them, we'll make their victory Pyrrhic." But even this desperate move was anticipated. As Vorax ships broke through the defensive line and approached Earth, they were met by a shimmering energy field that encapsulated the entire planet. Their most powerful weapons dissipated harmlessly against the barrier. From hidden bases around the solar system, enormous cannons powered up, their energy signatures dwarfing anything the Vorax had ever encountered. In a coordinated strike, they fired, sending lances of pure energy through space that annihilated huge swaths of the Vorax fleet. Seeing the tide of battle turn decisively against them, the remaining Vorax ships began to retreat. But the humans, their defenses proven, showed an unexpected mercy. Instead of pursuing and destroying the fleeing enemy, they held their positions, allowing the Vorax to escape. As the last Vorax ship disappeared into hyperspace, a cheer went up throughout the human fleet. They had faced their first true test on the galactic stage and emerged victorious. In the aftermath of the battle, as cleanup operations began and diplomatic channels buzzed with activity, humanity found itself at a crossroads. Their true nature had been revealed to the galaxy, for better or worse. The carefully maintained image of a peaceful, somewhat naive species had been shattered, replaced by the reality of a technologically advanced, militarily powerful civilization. As news of the battle spread, reactions across the Federation were mixed. Some members called for closer ties with humanity, seeing them as potential protectors. Others advocated for caution, fearing the implications of such a powerful species in their midst. On the Lionheart's bridge, Captain Harper received a transmission from Earth. President Okuffer's face appeared on the main screen, his expression a mixture of relief and resolve. "Captain, well done. You and your crew have saved countless lives today. But our journey is far from over. It's time for humanity to step out of the shadows and take its place in the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as guardians of peace." As the transmission ended, Harper looked out at the stars, pondering the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. Humanity had kept its secrets for so long, driven by a deep-seated hope for peace. Now, they would have to navigate a new reality, balancing their power with responsibility, their advanced technology with diplomacy. The battle was over, but the true test of humanity's place in the cosmos was just beginning. The truth unveiled. In the days following the Vorax attack on Earth, the Galactic Federation found itself grappling with a new reality. The species they had dismissed as naive and technologically inferior had single-handedly repelled one of the most formidable forces in known space. Questions abounded, and demands for answers grew louder with each passing hour. At the heart of this storm stood Dr. Amelia Chen, now tasked with the monumental responsibility of explaining humanity's true nature to a wary galaxy. In a historic address to the Federation Council, broadcast across thousands of worlds, she prepared to unveil the truth that humans had guarded for centuries. The council chamber was packed, with additional holographic projections allowing countless more to attend virtually. As Amelia took the podium, a hush fell over the assembly. "Distinguished representatives of the Galactic Federation," she began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "Today, I stand before you to reveal the truth about humanity. A truth we've kept hidden not out of malice or deceit, but out of a profound hope for peace and a deep-seated fear of our own potential." She paused, allowing her words to sink in before continuing. "To understand humanity, you must first understand our history. For millennia, our species waged war upon itself. We developed weapons of unimaginable destruction, brought ourselves to the brink of extinction more times than we care to remember. But from this crucible of conflict, we emerged not as conquerors, but as guardians." Holographic displays sprang to life around the chamber, showing scenes from Earth's history, ancient battles, world wars, and finally, the dawn of a unified human civilization. In the 21st century, humanity faced a choice: continue down the path of self-destruction, or channel our ingenuity and determination towards a greater purpose. We chose the latter. We unify our world, not under the banner of a single government, but under a shared vision of our role in the cosmos. The displays shifted, showing the rapid advancement of human technology, from the first colonies on Mars to the development of faster-than-light travel. As we reached for the stars, we made a solemn vow. We would never again let our capacity for violence threaten innocent lives. We would develop our military technology not for conquest, but as a shield, a deterrent against those who would bring war to peaceful worlds. Murmurs rippled through the audience as Amelia's words sank in. She continued, her voice growing more impassioned. For centuries, we explored the galaxy in secret, always watching, always preparing. We saw the conflicts that erupted between species, the empires that rose and fell. And we knew that one day we might be called upon to stand as the defenders of peace. When we joined the Federation, we did so with hope in our hearts. We saw a galaxy striving for unity, for understanding. We chose to present ourselves as we wished to be seen. Peaceful, diplomatic, eager to learn. But we never forgot our vow. The holographic displays now showed the recent battle over Earth, the advanced human ships effortlessly repelling the Vorax assault. What you witnessed in our defense of Earth was the culmination of centuries of preparation. Our technology, our tactics, our unity of purpose, all of it honed to a razor's edge, not for domination, but for protection. Amelia's expression softened, her eyes scanning the faces of the assembled representatives. We understand that our revelation may be shocking, even frightening to some. You may wonder why a species with our capabilities would choose to hide them. The answer is simple. We fear our own power. A heavy silence fell over the chamber as Amelia delivered her final words. Humanity stands ready to take its place in the galaxy, not as conquerors, not as overlords, but as guardians. We offer our strength in defense of peace, our technology in service of progress, and our unity as an example of what can be achieved when a species overcomes its darker nature. We are humanity. We have known war, and because of that, we cherish peace above all. We do not seek conflict, but neither will we shy away from it when the cause is just. We ask for your understanding, your trust, and your partnership as we forge a new future for our galaxy together. As Amelia stepped down from the podium, the council chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices. Some representatives called for immediate alliance with humanity, seeing them as the protectors the galaxy had long needed. Others voiced concern, fearing the potential for human dominance. In the midst of the chaos, Ambassador Zixlor approached Amelia, his iridescent skin shimmering with a mix of emotions. "Dr. Chen," he said, his voice barely audible above the din. "I believe I speak for many when I say that your revelations have shaken us to our core. But I also believe that they have given us hope. Hope for a future where peace is not just an ideal, but a reality protected by the most powerful force our galaxy has ever known." Amelia nodded, a small smile playing at her lips. "Thank you, Ambassador. That hope is what has driven us for centuries. It's what will continue to drive us as we move forward." As the council debated long into the night, news of humanity's true nature spread across the galaxy. On countless worlds, beings of all species pondered the implications of this revelation. Some felt fear, others excitement, but all recognized that the cosmic order had fundamentally changed. In the depths of space, aboard the remnants of the Vorax fleet, Supreme Commander Thrax received the broadcasts with growing dread. The species he had dismissed as weak had revealed itself to be the most formidable force in the galaxy. As his ships limped towards home, Thrax realized that the Vorax's days of unopposed expansion were over. Back on Earth, in the halls of the United Earth Government, President Okafor convened his advisors. "The die is cast," he said, his voice solemn. "We can no longer hide in the shadows. The galaxy knows who we are, what we're capable of. Now we must prove that we are worthy of the trust we're asking for." Admiral Rodriguez, her uniform still bearing the marks of the recent battle, nodded in agreement. "It won't be easy, sir. Some will see us as saviors, others as potential tyrants. We'll need to walk a fine line." "Indeed," Okafor replied. "But this is the moment we've prepared for. Humanity will rise to the challenge. We must show the galaxy that our power is tempered by wisdom, our strength by compassion." As the meeting continued, plans were laid for the new role humanity would play in galactic affairs. Diplomatic missions would be launched, technological exchanges initiated, and a new era of cooperation proposed. Across the stars, The sentient beings of the galaxy looked to the blue-green world called Earth with a mixture of awe, fear, and hope. The humans, once dismissed as newcomers, had revealed themselves to be ancient guardians, their true power hidden behind a veil of peace. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what this revelation would mean for the future of all species. One thing was certain: the age of humanity had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. A new galactic order. The months following humanity's revelation to the Galactic Federation were a whirlwind of diplomatic activity, technological exchange, and societal upheaval across countless worlds. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted dramatically, and every species was scrambling to understand and adapt to this new reality. On the bustling space station that served as the Federation's headquarters, representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered for an unprecedented summit. The agenda was clear: to reshape galactic governance in light of humanity's emergence as a superpower. Ambassador Zixlor, now serving as the mediator between humanity and the rest of the Federation, stood at the center of a maelstrom of competing interests and concerns. His 4 arms were in constant motion, gesturing to emphasize points, calling for order, and occasionally massaging his temples in moments of frustration. "Order, please," he called out, his voice amplified throughout the vast chamber. "We must approach these discussions with clear heads and open minds. The future of our entire galaxy hangs in the balance." As the din subsided, Dr. Amelia Chen took the floor. In the months since her revelatory speech, she had become the face of humanity to the galactic community, her calm demeanor and diplomatic skills earning her respect even among those wary of Earth's power. "Esteemed colleagues," she began, "we stand at a crossroads. The revelation of humanity's true nature and capabilities has understandably caused concern among many, but it has also presented us with an unprecedented opportunity to forge a lasting peace." She gestured to a holographic display showing the known galaxy. "For too long, our civilizations have existed in a state of uneasy coexistence, with conflict always simmering beneath the surface. The Vorax threat was just one example of the dangers we face. But together, with humanity's defensive capabilities and the collective wisdom of all our species, we can create a new era of stability and prosperity." As Amelia spoke, murmurs of agreement began to spread through the assembly. Even those who had been most vocal in their concerns about human dominance found themselves nodding along. A representative of the Volcrin, the crystalline beings known for their logical approach to galactic affairs, chimed in. "Dr. Chen speaks wisely. Our analysis suggests that a galaxy united under a common defensive shield, with open exchange of scientific and cultural knowledge, would see a 78.3% reduction." A representative of the Volcrin, the crystalline beings known for their logical approach to galactic affairs, chimed in. "Dr. Chen speaks wisely. Our analysis suggests that a galaxy united under a common defensive shield, with open exchange of scientific and cultural knowledge, would see a 78.3% reduction in interspecies conflicts and a 92.7% increase in overall technological advancement within the next century." The chamber buzzed with excitement at these projections. Even the most skeptical representatives couldn't deny the potential benefits of such an arrangement. However, not all were convinced. A delegate from the Zarn Confederation, a loose alliance of militaristic species, stood up. "And who would control this defensive shield? Are we to simply trust that humans will not use their power to dominate us all?" Amelia nodded, acknowledging the valid concern. "We anticipated such worries. That's why we proposed the creation of a new governing body, the Galactic Defense Council. This council would oversee the deployment and use of advanced defensive technologies, including those provided by Earth. It would be composed of representatives from all member species, with decisions made by consensus." She paused, allowing her words to sink in before continuing. "Furthermore, we propose a gradual rollout of our technologies, coupled with comprehensive training programs. We don't seek to make the galaxy dependent on us, but rather to elevate all species to a level where we can stand together as equals. The debate raged on for days, with proposals and counterproposals flying back and forth. Throughout it all, humanity's representatives maintained a stance of openness and compromise, allaying fears and building trust. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of negotiations, a new charter for the Galactic Federation was drafted. At its core were several key principles. The establishment of the Galactic Defense Council, tasked with overseeing a unified defensive network. A comprehensive technology exchange program aimed at gradually elevating all member species to a similar level of advancement. The creation of rapid response fleets, staffed by mixed species crews, to address threats to any Federation world. A renewed commitment to diplomatic solutions, with military action serving only as a last resort. The designation of Earth as a neutral ground for future Federation summits, and as the home of the new Galactic Academy of Sciences. As the final vote was tallied, a sense of cautious optimism filled the chamber. The new charter passed with an overwhelming majority. The galaxy was entering a new era, one of unprecedented cooperation and shared purpose. In the months and years that followed, the changes rippled across the cosmos. The Vorax, once a feared expansionist power, sued for peace and eventually joined the Federation. Other hostile species, seeing the united front presented by the galactic community, chose diplomacy over conflict. On Earth, the United Earth government worked tirelessly to fulfill its promises. The planetary defense shield that had protected Earth was adapted for use on other worlds. Human scientists collaborated with alien counterparts, leading to breakthroughs in fields ranging from medicine to faster-than-light travel. 5 years after the fateful battle that had revealed humanity's true nature, Ambassador Zixlor stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Galactic Academy of Sciences. The massive complex sprawled across what had once been the Swiss Alps, its gleaming towers reaching towards the stars. Dr. Amelia Chen joined him, her face showing signs of the tireless work she had put in over the years. "Quite a view, isn't it, Ambassador?" she said, gazing out at the bustling campus where beings from hundreds of worlds studied and worked together. Zixlor nodded, his iridescent skin shimmering with contentment. "Indeed, Dr. Chen. If someone had told me 6 years ago that we would be standing here, on a Earth that had become the center of galactic cooperation, I would have thought them mad." Amelia chuckled. "There were times I thought we were mad for trying. But look at what we've achieved." She gestured to a group of young aliens excitedly discussing a holographic projection. "A new generation is growing up without the fear of war, with the entire galaxy's knowledge at their fingertips." And to think, Zixlor mused, it all stemmed from humanity's decision centuries ago to turn away from conflict. Your species' journey from warriors to guardians is truly remarkable. "We still have a long way to go," Amelia said, her tone serious. "The power we wield is a constant temptation. Every day we must remind ourselves of the responsibility we bear." Zixlor placed one of his hands on Amelia's shoulder in a gesture of solidarity. "That's why you don't stand alone anymore. We all share that responsibility now." As they spoke, a alert chimed softly. A holographic display sprang to life, showing a massive ship emerging from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. It was unlike anything they had seen before, clearly of extragalactic origin. Amelia and Zixlor exchanged glances, a mix of excitement and apprehension in their eyes. The galaxy had found peace and unity, but the universe, it seemed, still held many mysteries and potential challenges. "Well, Ambassador," Amelia said, a determined smile on her face, "it looks like our work is far from over." Zixlor nodded, his 4 hands clasping in anticipation. "Indeed, Dr. Chen. But whatever comes next, we face it together, as a united galaxy." As alarms began to sound, and the Galactic Defense Council convened for an emergency session, Earth once again found itself at the center of a cosmic drama. But this time, it didn't stand alone. The combined strength, wisdom, and determination of 1,000 species stood ready to face whatever the universe might throw their way. The secret was out, the truth unveiled. Humanity, the reluctant guardians, had found their place in the cosmos, and the galaxy, once fraught with conflict and division, had discovered a new purpose: to explore, to learn, and to face the unknown as one. As the mysterious ship drew closer, the sentient beings of the Milky Way prepared to write the next chapter in their shared history. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them not as separate species, but as a galactic family, united in their quest for knowledge, peace, and understanding. The end, or perhaps just the beginning.